So I want to share a dream that I had this morning. Excuse the way I'm looking, because I work from home. I don't get up and get dressed like that. So unless I'm going somewhere. But anyway, so I was walking around this store with this person that I'm not close to anymore. And so I don't even talk to her no more. But anyway, so it's ironic that she was in my dream. But anyway, so we're walking around the store and um it has like different items, of course. And so there was a backpack. Now, inside this backpack, it had like, I think like a Bluetooth speaker. It had all these different things that matched the color of the backpack. And it was like a lavender colored backpack. But it had like, like this big Bluetooth speaker, stereo thing. It had like a few other things. I can't even remember exactly what. Anyway, the things inside the backpack were valuable. And so, but it was the last one. And so I wanted it and she wanted it. We both wanted the backpack with all the items that were matching the backpack in it. So I told her, I said, well, if you're going to get it, then get it. It's fine. I won't get it. And so she was basically saying that she wanted the items inside the backpack. She didn't care about the outside of the backpack, the actual backpack. She wanted what was in it. And so I was like, I want the backpack and what's in it. I don't just want what's on the outside of the backpack. So, I just don't want just what's on the inside of the backpack. I want, the actual backpack too. And so me and her going back and forth about whether she's going to buy it or not. So she decides to get it. And then I woke up. So then I was asking and praying and asking God, what was the purpose of the dream? And God revealed to me that the purpose of the dream was that a lot of people want the content of what's inside of the chosen people of God. Like they want what's inside of our heart, what's inside of our mind, what's inside of our spirit, what's inside of our soul, our kindness, our love, our strength, our resilience, our destiny, our inheritance, our prosperity, like everything in our abundance overall, our abundance. They want our legacy. They want our purpose. They want our strength. Like everything that God has given us, chosen ones, is what the wicked people who serve the world, who kill, steal, and destroy, and deceive, and lie, and live wickedly, unrepentant before God, they want what's inside. They don't even care about really us as a person. And what the outer side, like basically the backpack represented, not what was in the backpack, but the actual backpack. What that represented in the dream was that the outer shell, they want to use our outer. And then after they get the contents of what's inside, they want to throw us away. And God revealed to me that the outside of a person, or what contains and what holds the value, is just as valuable as what's inside. The external, in other words, is just as valuable as the internal. And the reason the external is valuable is not for shallow reasons or superficial reasons. The reason that the backpack, which of course relates to us and our outer shell, excuse my nail, but our outer shell. So we are valuable externally, internally. There's value externally and there's value internally. But a lot of people don't really, they want to throw the contents away that are inside. The world does, even though they want to use them. And they also want to use the external. And God just showed me, he was like, y'all external of the chosen ones is just as valuable as your internal. cells. And the reason why the external is so valuable is because it holds the internal. Without us having a body to move, walk, talk, live, and have our being, we couldn't even be a blessing to those in our path that God put us, around. Like, we couldn't be a blessing to people if we didn't have the external body. The external body is the vehicle that we use to do the will of God, to bring what's inside of us outwardly. So I said that to say, don't ever let anybody devalue you externally, internally. I don't care whether you tall, short, fat, skinny, black, white, yellow, orange, green. It don't matter. Short hair, long hair. I don't care what the circumstances is, if you're outer shell, or just make sure your inside is good. Make sure the contents are valuable of what's inside of you, because that's where the real value is. And if you don't take care of the external and the internal, then you won't have any value. You have to take care of both to have value. So don't esteem one higher than the other. Worldly people, they put a lot of emphasis on the external, not understanding you can have, that's like having a fancy car to look good on the outside, but there's nothing under the hood. You can't drive it. It ain't going nowhere. That's why the world is stuck like they are and not getting anywhere, not elevating. And the ones who are elevating are normally being elevated by Satan, because they are doing the things of Satan, which is sinful. They're walking in sin. They're living in sin. They're in sexual immorality. They're hating on people. They're, plotting against people. When you do Satan's work, he will reward you. And that's what a lot of the wicked does. But it's only temporary rewards. It doesn't last. It's not eternal. Everything that God gave us chosen ones on the inside is eternal. So our body is his temple. So we need to value what's inside, and we need to value what's outside, because we will not be able to carry on and do the will and the work of God and give the value that he placed in us and express it outwardly if we don't take care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, spiritually. Like, every area there is of life, we need to be honoring God. And that was the message, pretty much, in the interpretation that God wanted me to give through that dream. There's people who only value the contents of what's inside of you, but don't never let nobody value the external or the internal side of you. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to fight with them, but don't let them get to you, because people will try to take shots at your self-worth. They will try to take shots at your self-esteem, and they do that because they don't have any value, self-worth, or self-esteem, because they've been used up and abused by the devil, and they like it like that. They don't want to submit to God. They don't want to do the will of God. That's why God allows the wicked to die early, because they have no purpose for being here other than to commit sin. If all you're going to do is be sinful on this earth, what is your purpose? You have no purpose on this earth. God will remove you early. That's why people die prematurely. So this is just a warning to understand that your body is your temple, and that what's inside and what's external is all valuable. God created you exactly how he meant for you to be. Whoever don't like it, that's their own problem. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Because everything that God has for you requires you to be you and who God created you to be, both on the inside and on the outside. If you change, you got a lot of the worldly people changing their external attributes, so worried about the outside when the inside is rotted. Those people, say God has a husband or a wife for you. Because you did so many alterations to the outside of you, your wife or husband ain't even gonna be able to recognize you, because you're not in the package that God put you in. So I'm just saying, maintain the package, your God-given package, externally and internally. Don't let nobody unwrap your gifts who was not sent by God. Don't let nobody use and abuse your gifts and they did not earn the spot to be in your life. Everybody who is of God had to earn their spot in the kingdom. Not saying we can earn salvation, but you do have to earn a spot in the kingdom. That's why he says all are called and few are not chosen. All are called, but only a few are chosen, because only a few are willing to pay the cost to get into the kingdom, which is self-denial, which is love, which is obedience. So take care of your contents. Take care of your contents, both internally, externally, in Jesus' name. Until we meet again. Good night.